Hey everyone, as part of upgrading to the RTX 50 series of graphics cards, I wanted to get the best possible power supply unit to actually protect myself against melting connectors and things like that, which I know mainly affected the graphics cards, but some people's power supply unit connectors did actually melt. And that's because the 12V power connector from ATX 3.0 isn't as safe as the newer 12V-2x6 one from ATX 3.1. So when I was power supply unit shopping as part of my graphics card upgrade, I came across this particular PSU. And I bought this with my own money. This is a fully independent review or unboxing or whatever you want to call it. But basically in this video I wanted to talk through why I bought this. And mainly it's because it's 1000 watts, it's made by Seasonic, it's platinum rated, it's ATX 3.1 and it includes Japanese capacitors. But let's actually just get cracking with unboxing it. This box is very heavy. Before I do anything, let's just weigh it. Wow, 3.7 kilograms. Okay, that sounds like quite a lot. But let's have a look. Right, so that's that. I'll weigh it again later. Let's actually open this box up. Okay, so that's the inside. So Titan Platinum, we got booklet. Obviously the range starts at 750, goes up to 1200 watts. So what do we get? We get some nice cable ties and zip ties, and I always like the ones that are Velcro. They just make it a bit nicer. And what we got there as well, we have got a connection block. It's interesting. 24 pin connection block. Is that like an extender or something? I'll have to look at that later and I'll show what that is. So it turns out it's actually a PSU tester, so you can turn on the PSU and power accessories without plugging it into the motherboard. Then you've got the power supply in there. Obviously standard lead, in this case it's a UK one because obviously I'm UK based. We've got the cables, which I'll look at in just 1 minute. Let's put that out of the way because first we can look at the power supply unit. So you've got these nice bags for both the cables and the actual power supply unit. Open it up and then we've got our power supply unit, which is there. It looks really nice. So that's the fan, big sturdy fan. That's the side, the back with all the information. At the back there as well, we've got hybrid for actually the fan speeds and all that. And then you've got your actual connectors, as we can see there. So we've got the 12V-2x6 connector, and that's one of the big reasons I bought this. Because as I mentioned, you know, that's the latest and that is the safest. And with the 40 series, some people's power supply units were unfortunately melting on the PSU side, but this hopefully will be the safest possible. So that's quite good. So that is the power supply unit. I wanted to weigh it quickly just to see how much it weighs because it does feel heavier than some of my other ones. So let's just weigh that. Well, almost 2 kilograms. I'll put the Freedom Units version there, but that is 1955 grams. So that is quite a lot, but it does feel very good. And obviously it is a platinum rated power supply unit. So I'm not actually that surprised really. You can see how heavy it is really just from me doing that. And now we can look at the actual cables, which I'm looking forward to because I've heard they are really good. Right, so let's get all these out. We got cable combs. I didn't realise that. That's actually included. I've had a few different Corsair power supply units and they've never actually come with it, but these are really nice. I'll show them off in a minute. The cables themselves don't look quite as nice as the individually sleeved Corsair ones, but they are still pretty nice. So they are individually sleeved, and what that means is it's a lot easier to cable manage everything because you got more bendability and things like that. There we are. So we've got absolutely tons of cables. This is more than you sometimes do get. You've got your Molex ones, which we'll ignore. What have you got there? You've got a SATA one there, which only connects 2 different SATA ones. Sometimes it comes with an extension of 4. Actually, just like this one, yeah. So that's 4, so maybe that one is PATA. I always forget the difference, but there we are. And that's actually right angled as well, so I quite like that. That's a right angled connection compared to this, which is a straight edge. So actually that's quite nice as well. We've then got one of our PCI Express cables, another one there, and obviously it slides off as well. So if your graphics card only needs a 6 connection, then you can actually do that, or you can slide it back on for the actual full connection. It's up to you really, so that is quite nice. But if we put some Corsair cables down now, we can compare the difference. So with Montech, you kind of get these individually sleeved or individually braided cables, and they are really nice. I really like the look of them. As I said, they're not quite as good as the really premium Corsair ones, which are like £20 a cable, but these are pretty nice. The fact that the stock ones is pretty good because this is the alternative. Is Corsair, supply you with this cable by default. It's big, it's bulky, and yes, you can obviously move the connector around as you need to when you're actually running cables inside a case, but still not ideal. These are going to be a lot better, you know, you've got a lot more flexibility, and I think they just look a lot nicer. If we go over to the 12-volt power connector, if I can find it, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, the 12-volt power connector. This actually has loads of individual cables, and you probably wouldn't want to run them like this, but what you can actually do is you can come along and clip them with these cable combs, and I think I've actually picked up the wrong one. I definitely did, yes, but here's the final effect in an actual build. So that's the 12-volt power cable powering my RTX 5080, and that's the 12-pin motherboard one. And before wrapping up, I wanted to do a montage just showing the box and then the PSU itself in more detail. Thanks for watching this video.